Good morning, it's Saturday. This is Steve Bell again, and this is Acoustic Inc. And I really appreciate your being here to check out my uh, poetry readings on YouTube. Again, the YouTube channel is called Acoustic Inc. And if you are interested, by the way, in communicating with me, definitely, uh, check, thumbs up, thumbs down, make a comment, and also subscribe to this channel. Today's poem is about sleep. And I remember 20 years ago sitting with a psychiatrist, and we were talking about my family history of mental illness and my own struggle with depression and with what I later was called, or learned what was called mania. Kind of being a maniac, if you have any understanding of what that means, when your moods go way high and you think you're Superman and you can do anything and you can get by on 4 hours sleep and you can get tons of things done, but you could also make the people around you very, very agitated, upset, and you don't have any clue that there's anything wrong until your moods swing in the other direction and you just feel like you're a pile of dirt and that nobody cares about you and you don't care about yourself and you want to sleep all the time and stop eating, and it's not very good stuff. But with this psychiatrist, one of the first things he asked me was, how was your sleep? And my answer to him was, well, I'm a light sleeper. And he dug a little deeper and he said, well, do you ever dream? So, not very often. And what I found out is I really wasn't sleeping that well at all. In fact, I even went through a sleep study and all that kind of stuff. But basically, it's like, oh, sleep. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it has a lot to do with being mentally healthy. So, anyway, now years later, in my poetry, I came up with the idea. It's like, hey, I'm going to write a poem about insomnia. I still deal with that and take prescribed medicine for that, and also try to do healthy things like stay off of YouTube and Facebook and the news and stuff like that, and just read a regular paper book, kind of like the one that's coming out real soon that will have my name on it. It's called Remarkable Things, Poems of Revelation and Comfort. Anyway, I'm going to read this poem to you called Insomnia. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more than one poem today. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but I think you'll like this. So here we go. My brain is a half-dead battery made not of plastic and metal, but of flesh, an emaciated blob of neurons and chemicals and electrical sparks. It needs to be recharged with a few nights of uninterrupted sleep. A jumpstart, a reboot, lest the onboard computer in my head order itself to halt and catch fire. My wife is the battery from another car. Her arms a pair of soft and pliable, flexible jumper cables. This roadside ritual is nothing new. Here she whispers, get in the car, lay on my lap. She cradles my sweaty head, her soft fingers counting sheep on my cheeks. For a half hour, maybe more, my brain shuts down, my mouth drops open, I fall asleep. So goes my quest for sleep, restful, regenerative sleep. My fantasy life consists of watching myself alone or with her in bed, her smooth legs holding me down. I am curled up in a fetal position, my bloodshot pupils fluttering behind my eyelids as I dance the twist and shout nonsense in a cool, dark, and very quiet room. My wife prays in silence, for she too lives the insomniac nightmare. So that is, well, poem number one. So I think I'm going to go to my computer here and look at another poem. So let's see what I can find. That would be kind of cool. Oh yes, I have lots of them in here. try I call it Jesus poem. And as you can hear, my dog is trying to get my attention. There's some bad person with another dog walking past my patio, and she thinks that the yard in front of the patio is hers. And I keep telling her that she has to share it. So, sorry for the interruption, folks. Let's see. This one is not a Jesus poem, but it's really kind of melancholy. And I wrote this early on in the pandemic, I think I wrote this back in April. And I was directing a childcare site for the YMCA, before and after school childcare program at a small school on the west side of Colorado Springs. And this poem is my feelings that I had to pour out on paper, and with a few tears added in for good measure, because it was really hard to be ushered out on March 13th, Friday the 13th, to be exact, and told that it's like, you got to pack up your stuff and you go, we're under quarantine, yada yada. I'm going like, what? And I have not been back to the school up until just yesterday, actually. I wanted to say hi to the staff. They're not open yet for regular classes. But anyway, I miss my kiddos, that me and the staff, we worked with these kids and hung out with them Monday through Friday, before school, after school. And so that chapter of my life is temporarily or permanently closed. But anyway, this poem, it's called Missing, and I do think you'll like it, because, as I said, it really deals with what's going on in today's world. So here we go. And especially if you are a child care worker or a parent or a kid or somebody who, public school teachers, private school teachers, charter school teachers, school principal, anybody who works with kids, I think you can relate to this. So here we go. Missing. I drove by in semi-silence around the parking lot, muttering to the empty parking spaces, there is nothing in the education code or the safety plan to prepare my heart for silent halls and the lonely jackets and backpacks sitting attached to low-hanging hooks whose owners could not return to the building to reclaim them. It is not as if the children were abducted, yet they are missing. Summer vacation came way too early. No warnings, no hugs, no goodbyes. I miss all your faces. I see your absent frowns, the soft smiles. Maybe, just maybe, things will be different, and we will sit together again at our snack table in that noisy gym, eating saltine crackers next fall. Well, it's next fall, and that hasn't happened. So anyway, I urge you today, pick up a good book of poetry and read it. Start reading it. Go on the internet, find some cool poetry sites. And also there's a book of poetry that's in the Bible, one of several, but the big one is called the Psalms. And most of them written by a very famous king by the name of David. So until next Saturday here at Acoustic Inc., this is Steve Bell, and I hope you have a remarkable week. Thanks. Bye-bye.